What is up, everybody? It's Aaron and Ray back again with another episode of Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. It's going to be the weekly episode. It's going to come out on Friday. Well, technically, this is Friday. It came out today. It's great.
Technically, yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
One of these days, I'm going to give you like the Emperor shock hands,
Emperor
you know?
Palpatine, just get out of here.
Hey guys, this is the off season for us. If you couldn't tell, so Aaron,
I spent 10 minutes talking about Hogwarts Legacy before this.
It's tough. It's tough. I was trying to compare it to Elden Ring. I wanted to see if it was worth even trying because I'm not a Harry Potter guy. But if you guys are, drop in the comments. I want to see what you guys talk about. Look, Aaron, not a lot of news.
Nope.
Not anything really to go over. Aaron Rodgers came out of his darkness retreat. I'm more and more convinced that Derek Carr is going to be a Jet every day. Like every day, I'm more and more convinced. Maybe the hype is
Did you
just
see where
there.
they said that they told him that they could be a contender with him as their quarterback?
I did, and I think they could. How much? Okay, now this is a good way to start the show. Why not? Because we didn't really have a way to start the show. So, is Derek Carr better?
How we should have started the show?
How's that?
Question.
A question?
Yeah, you said you could be back with your questions in the off season.
Oh, that's right. It is off season, but next episode, next week. Aaron, do you think that Derek Carr? Because there's not a lot to talk about news-wise. We're going to get into some, end of season quarterback rankings and talk about how they finished there, how they helped you, what they did for you, and how shocking some of them actually are, really. Because I was kind of blown away a little bit. But when Aaron pulled it up and hit me with the sauce. But how much better do you think Derek Carr is than a Mike White? We're not going to talk about Zach Wilson because I don't think Zach Wilson is an NFL quarterback. I don't.
Pretty good. A lot better, actually.
Let's say rating it from a 1 to 10 and Mike White is a 4. Where would you put Derek Carr?
7. If Mike White's a 4, I would say a 7.
That's where I feel as well. I think that gives them. Maybe I'm giving too much into Derek Carr. Maybe I am. Maybe we are. I don't know. But I think they're an automatic playoff contender if he goes there.
I don't. Not that division.
Okay.
Vic Fangio just goes to Miami now to be able to control the defense. You still got to play Bill Belichick twice a year, and you have the Bills.
Okay. The reason I say that
they in the AFC, and so you're going to play with two other in the division, one outside of the division in the NFC. So depending on who you play inside of the division, the AFC has some pretty good teams.
I don't deny that. I don't deny what you're saying. But I do think that out of the teams in the AFC the AFC East, out of all of those teams, I can't see one of them having a better defense than the Jets. I can't see that.
The Patriots? You don't see them having a better defense than the Jets?
Nope.
Just because their offense sucks.
Their offense does suck.
Doesn't mean their defense won't be good.
That's how I see it. I don't know.
Okay.
You don't. I just wanted to get your. I
will beer bet you that at least one team from that division has a better finishing defense than the New York Jets.
I want to see who goes there first.
The defense has nothing to do with it.
If they go with Zach Wilson one more year, I think everybody just abandons ship and goes and plays in the XFL.
Oh, God. Probably not. That's a pay cut.
Did you watch any of it? No?
I watched some highlights about like the kickoff, and you can go for it on like 4th and 15.
What do you think about that kickoff?
Lowers the risk of injury, I feel like.
Do you think it's going to take away from some explosion towards the?
If anything, you'll have more ran back for touchdowns because if you can get 2 or 3 solidifying blocks, everyone's already spaced out this way, long ways evenly. So if you can make it through that first little bit of line, you have the one kicker to beat. Whereas now they kick off and everyone kind of just gets staggered throughout the thing, so it kind of creates little different pockets of stuff.
And then it's just a blown up block, and then you're gone. That's really what it is. I like it. I like it a lot. I was also kind of shocked that Paxton Lynch got benched again. I
was not.
That's tough. Okay. Four different leagues, 4 different times that man has been benched. That is as tough as it gets. If you're a Bronco fan, I'm so sorry. Because it's not going to get any better. We have no good news for you coming up at all.
What do you mean? They have got the best news of the offseason that Sean Payton's their head coach.
They still have to deal with Russell Wilson being a bum.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not fully back on board with the hype train, but I mean,
it's going to start.
Look what Sean Payton did with Drew Brees when the Chargers didn't want him.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not bought in at all.
Drew Brees went on to win a Super Bowl, and the Chargers got Phillip Rivers and did nothing with it.
Phillip Rivers is still, maybe a Hall of Famer.
Maybe.
Do you want to get into this real fast here, Aaron?
Into
our quarterback rankings here?
You mean
or not our quarterback rankings, but the quarterback rankings. Yeah.
The quarterback finishes? Sure. We can do that. Sure.
Let's do that.
Sure. Top 10,
Let's do
top
that.
12? You want to do top 12?
Let's do top
12, right?
Let's do top 12, yeah, because we got some time to fill.
Yeah. So, this is from, I'm going to preface this whole thing. This is from fantasypros.com. If you have a beef with these rankings, don't bring it up to me. Bring it up to fantasypros.com. I'm sure they're really going to love to hear your complaint because I know I wouldn't. But anyways, so this is the quarterback scoring week 1 through week 18. So the entire season, the way that they finished. You want to guess at number 1?
I mean, I think that everybody kind of knows what number 1 is. Maybe not. Patrick Mahomes at number 1.
Yep.
Kind of wild. Because I thought Jalen Hurts would be, right up there with him, and he's not.
Well, should be fair, if Jalen Hurts would have played all 17 games, he probably would have beat him in scoring, but not by much.
That's probably where I'm getting that from. Because honestly, like the injury didn't really calculate in my brain when I'm looking at these fantasy point finishes and whatnot. So that's probably where I'm getting that from. But to go off of Patrick Mahomes and where he finished with his points, he was 428.4 points in a 17-game stretch, averaging 25.2 points a game. Does that kind of move your needle a little further up on how you see early round quarterbacks going into the next draft? Does it kind of move your bar up a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
does this season do that to you?
The season as a whole, yeah, because I mean, outside of the guys that we're going to talk about, we'll talk about a few late round, potentially undrafted guys that kind of snuck their way in there. But for the most part, man, if you can get one of the big, what I'd say is like 4, 5, big 5, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, one of those like big 5 names, be pretty okay.
So what round do you feel like you're willing to take? Let's say Patrick Mahomes next season. What round do you feel? This is really early right now. We've done no research behind this, but just 5th or 6th. I'd be willing to take him. No. I'd be willing to take him at the beginning of the 3rd.
I know. There's too many needs there's too many holes that you still have to fill in order for that. And I understand quarterbacks score the most points in fantasy. That's how it works. It's the onesie position. The way that their scoring system's set up, they score a lot, right? Like, to put it this way, preface or foreshadow, Justin Jefferson was the number 1 wide receiver on the year at 240.7 points. Oh, hold on, that was standard. Let me do half. 304 points. Patrick Mahomes is 428, so that's 124 points difference.
Yeah.
So there's just too many needs for me. I would rather let someone take him in the 3rd and then figure out what quarterback's left in like the 5th, 6th.
So I only bring this up, and I think this is a relevant conversation for this specific topic we're talking about here. Is I think if you take Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd, you're solidifying that you don't have to string quarterbacks. Now, is it going to be a good year to string quarterbacks or not? Who knows? This season, absolutely not. No way. Because most of what's here is going to be drafted, taken, and in home leagues, most likely you're going to have two people keeping, or you're going to have a person keeping two quarterbacks for the whole season. So your streaming candidates are going to be limited. And if there's not good streamers, like Gino was a great streamer, but Trevor Lawrence might have been. But outside of that, it was a real hit or miss. It was a real gamble each week, and not a good gamble. So that's why I bring that up. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it. And I do agree. I don't like taking quarterbacks early, but like, man, this season really, really burned me. Really gave me the fits, if you could say.
Yeah. All right. So up at number 2, we have Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He finished with 412.24 points over 17 games, and he averaged 24.25 points on the season. He was injured there for a while too with his elbow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He has a lot of up down games in my eyes, where like some games he'll score 40 points and then another game he'll score 13.
And I still think that if you decided to take, let's say in the next draft coming up, you decided to take Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes, I can't fault you for it. I can't. But another relevant question here, Aaron, just because we need to ask questions. Who do you want more in a dynasty right now? Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen?
Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh-wee.
Just because he still has, 7 years left on his deal?
He's not leaving Kansas City ever.
That's what I'm saying.
He's never leaving Kansas City.
As long as he's in Kansas City with Andy Reid, sign me up.
Andy Reid said, I'm going to go get a cheeseburger and I'm going to start working on next season. That's exactly what that man said.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I don't know either, but yes, I would rather have Patrick Mahomes. They're both great, but I was on the Josh Allen hype train this year too, and until Buffalo brings in someone else other than just Stephon Diggs, it's not what I want.
Okay. Next up, we got Jalen Hurts finishing number third with 384 points, playing 15 games at 25.6 points a clip. Now, what we were talking about, he did get hurt. He did miss 2 games. I think that he probably finishes the quarterback 1 this season.
He outscores Patrick Mahomes by 4 points if he plays those next 2 games.
I think he does. And it's his rushing floor. And do you know what? He doesn't take a lot of big hits. He doesn't. He's a big guy too, obviously. He's a stocky dude. But he doesn't take a lot of big hits. Not like how you see Kyler Murray taking hits. That man is taking every abusive shot that man can take. Or
it's also because the Arizona line can't even sniff Philadelphia Eagles line.
It's true. Justin Fields or Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow takes a lot of big hits too, for no reason.
Joe Burrow says it makes him feel like it's in the. He's like, oh yeah, I'm into it now. Like I'm awake.
Sure. Do you know what?
I'll pass. I do not want a 298-pound dude just running into me.
Running a 4.6, just destroying you.
Pass on that one.
Yeah. So, but Jalen Hurts. Let's bring him into the conversation of who you would rather have.
You're really trying to make this episode go 2 hours, aren't you?
I'm not. It's really not going to go 2 hours. I think we're like 20 minutes in. We're okay. We're going to be okay. Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes next season?
Patrick Mahomes.
If you could get them both in the 4th round, just if you could. You probably won't be able to.
Both in the 4th round? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes for sure. Sign me up.
Okay. I would still take Patrick Mahomes, but that's where I'm starting to really think about it. Like,
I'm thinking about it as the Eagles lost a bunch of their coaching staff. They had to do some stuff with some contracts with other players. Mm-hmm. I think that the hangover might be a little too much for him, especially being on the losing end of the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I think that now that there's a full season of tape on Jalen Hurts being how Jalen Hurts is good. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying. He's good. But I do think he kind of comes back down to reality a little bit.
I think that with his rushing floor, there's no way he can finish outside of the top 5 without getting hurt.
That's fair.
Without getting hurt. But I agree. That's where the line gets real close. Like I'd really think about it.
Would you rather have Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Dynasty.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, and it's
Lamar,
only because
Lamar or Jalen Hurts.
Where does Lamar go? That's what matters right now. Where does he go? If he stays in Baltimore, I don't know. If he goes to a team that wants to provide him with some sort of talent outside of one tight end, I'm really interested.
They had Hollywood.
They had brick hands Hollywood.
Okay.
They had skillet plate hands Hollywood. I don't know about that.
Skillet plate. What's a skillet plate?
So what you cook bacon on?
A skillet?
Yeah, skillet.
Okay.
You never seen a skillet?
I have skillets downstairs, but I don't know what a skillet plate is.
That's what it is. It's a skillet pan, a skillet plate, whatever you want to call it.
I call it a skillet, Ray.
Yeah, just call it a skillet.
Call it a skillet. It's not a skillet plate.
You can tell we're all the way into the off season. This you can tell.
Anyways,
you can breathe.
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
Joey Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. He finished with 368.98 points over 17 games and averaged 21.7 points a game. It's crazy to think that the 3 people in the AFC that are probably going to be in contention for the Super Bowl every year, the way that their teams are constructed, are 1, 2, and 4 in fantasy.
And they're all young.
They're all sub 20, like 27.
20.
Maybe.
I
think Patrick Mahomes is the oldest at like 26.
Yeah. So is that just a tough time to be in the AFC?
Yeah.
Tough time. And they're going to have Rodgers too. I think Joe Burrow probably returns the most value in your draft where you could probably get him, because you're most likely going to be able to get him in the 5th or 6th.
Yep.
I think. And he returns the most value out of the 4 there. He can get you by, plus you're going to have other pieces on your roster. That's how I see it.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. That's all I have.
If you were to, my personal opinion, be the person that drafts Jamar Chase, I'm going to try to get Joe Burrow on my team. The way that I'm viewing it, to break it down just a little more, is say if you were to go and draft Joe Burrow in the 5th and 6th, right? Somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And the other guy that got Mahomes drafted him in the 3rd. Like I was saying, I'm comfortable with, but you have to understand that comes with a risk. Not having that higher echelon talent on your roster, whereas you still had a very serviceable, then if comparable quarterback, plus you have high echelon talent in the 3rd round. That's what you're getting out of that. So I just wanted to break that down real fast. Yep.
We can move on.
Okay, number 5.
This is what I was blown away by. Blown away. Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
314.88 points for 17 game stretch, averaging 18.52 points a game. I didn't think he would have finished that high. I didn't think that. And
I played him most of the season.
I know you wrote it.
I wrote it was a good stream. And you gave me a lot of crap for it, and I just had to roll the dice and go with it. I started him over Justin Herbert at points in time.
I didn't give you a lot of crap, but I tried to get Geno off of you. So I was trying to get him off of you.
Yeah,
that's tough. That's because some people were streaming other quarterbacks that didn't pan out. Nope. Do you think Geno returns to similar form next season?
No, Geno Smith will not finish the top 5.
Probably not. But I think that the weapons are there for him to
top 15,
only finish
maybe
top 10. The weapons are there.
That's fair.
Top 10.
That's fair.
At 10. Top 10 at 10.
Okay.
Right.
So number 6, everyone's fantasy darling this year, Justin Fields. He finished with 306.98 points over 15 games with 20.47 points on average. He missed 2 games. He would have ended up for sure finishing above Geno if he played the last 2. So
I just want to say
there's not much to say. He's the whole offense. There's not much to say about it. Like
I called it out in week 6. Just wanted to make sure that we just remembered that. Told everybody to go pick up Justin Fields.
If he's out there, go get him.
How many weeks did I say it before? Like it was just you weren't going to get him anymore. How many weeks? It was like 3 weeks.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough call. I think that if they go and add some pieces, they go do something for him in the offseason.
Pick in the draft.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they utilize that well, they can really help him out.
Maybe What would you say if they totally bears it up and drafted a college teammate of his, CJ Stroud?
You know what? If that happened, I swear to God, if I was Justin Fields, I would be demanding a trade at that point. Demanding. You're just gonna ruin his career. That's all you're gonna do. Just piss away his career.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many different stories about him getting traded and like, going after CJ Stroud.
Just remember, the Bears could have had Patrick Mahomes
or Deshaun
Watson, and they said Mitch Trubisky, he's our guy out of Duke or North Carolina. Tough. Excuse me, North Carolina.
Doesn't matter. Trashville, USA. Doesn't matter.
They're both in the same state. But still, anyways, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, I don't know. The Bears will. I hope they do something.
I hope they don't do anything because I hate the Bears. But
same.
But God damn it, how could you mess that up? How could you? I'm getting pissed and this hasn't even happened yet. How could you fumble the bag that bad? How could you do it? Moving on. Moving on.
Number 7, right? It's number 7.
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, man.
305.58 points, 17 games played, 17.98 points at a clip. I hate even speaking Kirk Cousins' name. He will forever be just buns to me.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. You did give me a lot of shit when we did our ranking show before the season started. And
I gave you some shit.
I think I put him at like 10 or something like that. And you were like, no way, it's Kirk Cousins, blah, 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 blah. That's your voice in my head. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I mean, obviously he did support a very prolific pass catcher. And then the second half of the season, a very prolific pass catching tight end for him that he got from Detroit. So that's guaranteed success to vault you kind of into the top 12.
When we do our actual player rankings for next season, oh boy,
you gonna bury him?
Oh boy, no. Hawkstrap, Hawkinson, he'll find his way very high on my list, very high, and a target.
Stop it.
And a target.
All right, so number 8. It's crazy what a year will do with a different coach. This one is Trevor Lawrence, 303.62 points over 17 games with the 17.86 clip. They're getting Calvin Ridley next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous how just a year's time can change so much for one player. Everyone thought he sucked last year.
I thought that
with Urban Meyer.
I personally thought, and I think we have a video of it somewhere back in time.
in the archives.
That he just wasn't going to live up to the hype. Because the hype for him, I mean, my God. Yeah. Hot damn, was it like, oh, here comes Peyton Manning times Tom Brady, and this guy's going to come in and just win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Like, no, dude, no. And it didn't look like he was going to be that guy.
Yep.
It looked like he was going to be a role-playing kind of guy.
Yep. Like a game manager.
But now, with Doug Peterson there, with an actual offense around him, and I know that's crazy to say, but like that Christian Kirk signing, remember everybody was talking shit like, oh, that's
they overpaid him. That's a bad signing. That's this, that's that.
That was us too. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it.
It was. But they
found out one of the best signings.
They moved him to the slot, which I think helped him exponentially.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of the best signings they could have made. Yep. I mean, they paid him a lot, sure.
Evan Ingram actually helped out too.
Mm-hmm. But maybe they have to pay people the Jacksonville tax. Maybe that's what it is.
Just like back in the day, Cleveland had to pay the Browns tax, and bad teams have to pay those taxes.
Maybe not so much anymore.
Nope.
I think they're a couple pieces away.
Too. Yep.
I think that they target some offensive line this offseason. If they maybe shore up some pass rush, can be looking real nice.
I think their pass rush would be good. They're 2 outside edges. They're still pretty young.
Yeah, really young. So very young. But maybe some interior. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas just to, so just to talk a little bit more on Trevor Lawrence. Next year, just going to name it here, plant my flag right now. Trevor Lawrence, 100% will finish in the top 5 next season.
Okay.
will finish there.
Okay.
I think that he is.
Plant your flag, big boy.
I think he's made himself into now the conversation of top 6 quarterback in the league.
Okay.
I think he has. And it's early, but I want to be early. I want to be up front. I want to be able to say, hey, back in February of last year, this is when I called it.
So, people, talking to the people now. You just heard Ray make a claim on a quarterback. He doesn't have a very good track record. Pull out now if you can.
You shouldn't. You should listen to it. Remember Justin Fields. Every time, remember it.
1 out of 17. We're there.
One out of 36. It's fine. Who do you got next here, Aaron?
Number 9. It's on you.
Oh, it's me? Oh. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes. Again, another shocker to finish in the top 10. I didn't think he would have. I didn't think that he had that good of a season, really. No. It's kind of wild. 294 points flat at 16 games, 18.38 points a clip. You know, what do the Giants do right now with Daniel Jones? What do they do? You pay him?
Wanted like $45 million a year minimum. That's the report I saw.
No. I'm not saying that's wrong. No.
Yeah.
No.
Agreed.
Zero shot in hell. No.
Agreed.
That's crazy. Could you imagine?
I don't know, man. I think they're in the point where they either A, give it to him because he's done it with nobody other than Saquon, or B, give him 24 and say here's a 1-year prove it deal.
Do you think they franchise tag him? Ooh.
Good.
Ooh.
Good, but they're still paying him like they're still paying him like 30-something million if they franchise tag him.
Franchise tag him, you say?
Yes, I get it. Haha.
Oh.
It's a good joke.
Whoa. Franchise tag him, you say?
Will you stop? Jesus.
No, I think that'd be a right move. They try to get him help. You know, they try to go get Kenny Galladay,
who they overpaid for there too.
Ooh-wee.
So
that dude's Buns. He's been Buns, and I've been calling him Buns forever.
Yep.
I don't know. Moving on.
Number 11. Oh, excuse me. Number 10.
Okay.
Number 10. Jared Goff. 290.32 points with 17-game season at 17.08 points on average per game. I think it's because the Lions were just in shootouts all year.
Their defense was poor.
Yes.
For the majority of the year. That's right.
Yes.
Do you think they should move on from Jared Goff?
No, they still have another 2 years on his contract.
Do you think that outside of a little bit more offensive line help, do you think that their offense can go anywhere but up? I think that they're on the rise.
Yeah, I do too.
They need a tight end. They need a tight end pretty bad. But outside of that, I can't. Goff's going to be a top 10 quarterback next season too. Again, a great streamer.
You have a lot of top 10 quarterbacks already.
Some people that shouldn't be here. That's
Your
why.
top 10's filled out already.
There's a few people that should not have already been in this list already.
Oh, man. Top 10's filled out. All right, dude. That's number 11.
All right. Justin Herbert at number 11. A really disappointing season, from especially when you drafted him, Matt. Mm-hmm. 289.26 points, 17-game full season, 17 points a week.
Yep.
A lot of that had to do with Brandon Staley, whatever the hell his name is. Brandon Staley.
Actually, was Joe Lombardi that was calling plays for them, and he got fired. So now they brought in Mike LaFleur.
A lot of that had to do with injuries around him. Keenan Allen was hurt for a long time. Mike Williams was in and out of the lineup.
Being gone for 5 games, and you can count on Mike Williams being out for at least 3.
I'm just
like baked into the draft capital.
Excuses. I'm giving out excuses here.
That's fine. It's like baked into the draft capital, though.
That's tough.
It's super tough. I get it.
But I can see how he got to where he's at right now, like where he's on this list. I get it. But I would hope that next season isn't so unfortunate. That's the best way I could view Justin Herbert's season, is unfortunate.
Yep, that is true. Everyone had high hopes for him.
And that defense really let him down.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So
finishing out the list.
Number 12, Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, he won't be there next year.
280.66 points over 17 game season with an average of 16.51 points per game. This was a bad year for Tom Brady too. Let's be real. He threw the ball a lot. They didn't really ever get anything going, which probably explains why Byron Leftwich got fired, because there has to be a scapegoat for someone. But I just don't think Todd Bowles is a very good head coach. I think you've seen it with the Jets. Now you see it again here with the Bucs. Great defensive coordinator. Not a good coach, head coach.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at the stats right now, taking a really brief overview of it, this was one of his worst quarterback ratings he's had outside of 2019 in 10 years, 11 years. You know, this was really bad Tom Brady. This is a 25 touchdown, 9 interception. His
low touchdowns.
Very much so. That 25 touchdown was really low comparative to pretty much everywhere else except for 2019, really. But I don't know, man. And I think that this was the right year to kind of hang it up. Really do.
I would agree, like, completely. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, that would be the top 12. That's it. That's all of it.
That is oh, geez. Let me open that back up. Sorry.
I had a joke during, like, we were getting a little warmed up here, having a little pre-show huddle. And Aaron was out here trying to start this whole true crime podcast. He was trying to tell me campfire stories. And I'm like, Aaron, stop. Turn your camera on. I need to be able to see you.
Yep. Yep. I'm just, trying to get into it.
No, we're not doing that. No.
And why not? Well, okay. But anyways.
Bedtime.
That rounds out the top 12. To recap, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady. Top 12 finishers for this year. Also known as QB1s. So, as always, guys, please be sure to join our Discord. Come hit us up with some questions. Go to driftlesjerky.com and use code franchise tag for 10% off of your order. Please be sure to hit the notification bell so you know anytime we drop new content. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up. It really helps us in the YouTube algorithm. And as always, please be sure to smash that subscribe button because it helps us grow as a channel and a community. We appreciate all of you. And until next time, we'll see you later.